Hi guys, I'm Dan, this is Kai. We are the directors at Crescent Mortgages, bringing you another FAMQ, frequently asked mortgage question. Today we are answering the question, what does a mortgage broker do? We know there are some misconceptions, there's a lot of confusion about our role in the process, which we believe is very, very important. So we're going to jump straight into it and hopefully enlighten you. Right, this is take two, because take one just went on and on and on. So we've learned from that, because I mean, ultimately, what does a broker do? We do a huge amount throughout the entire process. There's so much that we will contribute that again, people often don't realize until they've dealt with a broker for the first time. So, you know, I think the last video, it was just, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this for what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't 2 hours, but it was too long.
Fine.
Too long for a FAMQ. A broker, a good broker, we provide kind of a holistic approach to the mortgage process. So we don't just do one part, we don't just do the start, we will guide you throughout the entire process. From the moment you think about getting a mortgage and you first touch base with us, through to submitting the mortgage application. Again, we do all of that for you. So it's not like we're telling you what to do so you can go and do it yourself. We are doing it for you. We're doing the physical stuff, we're submitting the applications, we're helping you, we're dealing with lenders, we're doing the research. So all the way through until the end of the process. And aside from us being kind of nice people, why else would we oversee it to the end of the process?
It's our job. But we do get paid. Yeah, we do get paid. We get paid on completion.
At the end of the process.
So when it goes to when you get your keys or your new mortgage starts, whatever it may be, we get our money at the end.
So even if we didn't care, which we do, but even if we didn't care, we'd have to kind of oversee it to the end of the process because that's when we get paid. So it's important for you to understand that aside from everything else, our objectives are aligned. You want the mortgage to complete because you want your mortgage. We want the mortgage to complete because that's when we get paid. Now, some brokers will charge you a fee on top. Many brokers will charge you a fee on top, a broker fee, but there are some, such as ourselves, fee-free brokers where we do not charge you a penny on top. There's no catch. We just decide to just get the money from the lender. And just to be clear, the money that we do get from the lender, that's not kind of, you know, hidden into a cost that you will have to pay in another way. It's not like that at all. Normally the interest rates that you get direct with lenders are exactly the same as what you would get through a broker. And sometimes we do actually get slightly better ones, don't we?
Yeah.
With, exclusive deals, which are quite nice, aren't they? So in terms of what brokers do, a good broker...
It would go into 3 categories, let's call them, to make it simpler.
Categories, yeah.
Economic, practical, and support, or supportive.
Yeah, so are you not going to elaborate?
No, I'm not.
Because I told you not to.
Yeah, you told me not to in the first take.
So the economic advice that we give you, the practical, what we actually do, physically do for you, and the support, especially emotional support, but just the general support that we provide throughout the process. So economics is interesting because although it's very important, and because picking the right interest rate or the right scheme obviously is very important, and it could save you a lot of money or cost you a lot of money if you get it wrong, I think that's the area that maybe the misconception, that's what a lot of people think that's all we do, when actually the other two for many people adds more value throughout the process. But in terms of the economic, do you want to maybe touch on that a bit?
Yes, so economically, I suppose that's about us getting the right interest rate or the right product. And that doesn't mean necessarily the cheapest product, because that isn't always the right one. There'll be conversations about the type of product often first and foremost. So, fixed or variable or long-term or short-term, because those, what you're looking to do will take you to where you need to go in terms of what interest rate. Yeah, determine. We're both struggling. We need to help you find out where you're trying to go and how do we get you there. On top of that, when we know how we want to get you there, then we're looking for the cheapest ones. Then you're looking for the lowest interest rates, the lowest fees potentially. Making sure that we're picking everything right so that what you want is what you're going to get.
Yeah, and we get clients approach us, don't we? And they've seen what they believe to be the lowest interest rate online, and sometimes they contact us and say, look, I've seen this, I want this rate, I want you to do it for me. But what they don't know is that interest rate maybe carries a £3,000 arrangement fee in the background, which actually makes it more expensive, or that they're not eligible for that scheme because maybe they don't meet that lender's affordability assessment. So again, it's not just about the best interest rate. It's the overall cost and eligibility, which obviously we can do, and we have the tools and the experience to do that, which is much more difficult for you to do that just kind of using Google and that kind of thing. I guess we also do kind of we will guide you through the current market. Obviously, you know, are interest rates going up? Are they coming down? What do we think might happen? Again, you know, obviously we're not economists, but we do obviously have a very good understanding of the market and what's happening and what, you know, potentially will happen. So you can never say 100% what's going to happen, but we can obviously give you the information so that you can, you know, make the right decision, largely down to your attitude towards risk as well. You know, do you want to take a little bit of a risk? Do you want to go for the safe bet? And obviously with your feedback, we'll then kind of guide you to the right scheme. As far as the practical side, so again, I think for a lot of people, this is maybe, you know, especially in terms of the time consumption, for a lot of people, this is maybe the most important part of our role. Don't want to drown them, so should we just bam, 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 bam with the points?
We can try and do whatever you just did. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay, go on then.
So right to start with, maybe if you're buying a house, before you bought a house, we would take your information and often issue with an agreement in principle. So what you can borrow, how much it costs, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So right from the off, before, when you've just decided that you're going to get a mortgage, we can tell you if it's achievable, how much you can borrow. You can take that to an estate agent. You can go and view properties. Obviously, if needed, we can research the market to kind of confirm what lenders you might have as an option, check published affordability calculators, speak to lenders if you've got a quirky situation or there's something that we need to confirm if you're going to be eligible. Obviously, not every new client comes to us at that point in the process. Some people may have mortgaged a few years ago, they're now coming up to their first or second remortgage. So obviously at that point, we wouldn't necessarily provide an agreement in principle, but we would obviously check eligibility, find them the best rate. We submit the application, so we don't just give you the interest rate and tell you to go to the lender. We will submit the application for you to the lender. And then at that point, we continue through. So we go through the kind of the intermediary platform. So we have the lender's portal that we can upload your documents for you. We can chase the lender. We've got contacts at the lender. Mate, come on, pick it up faster.
Yeah, I felt like it was more like bam, 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 bam.
That's what we normally do.
Yeah, it's
well, come on then.
I think
Jump in.
them all. You know, if things go wrong, then we can also help, I suppose. So we have contacts at the lenders, specialists for us. So if something goes wrong, we've got someone we can call that will be able to help us rather than again the main lines. We've got you took them almost all of them.
There's loads, mate. Check the list.
Through them. What list?
Well, I tell you, we come across many problems post-application where the mortgage looks like it might be declined, or there's serious concerns from the underwriter, or they don't think the case is meeting affordability. Where genuinely, if you had gone direct to the lender, the application would have probably fallen through because you don't have the contact, you don't have the tools or the knowledge to be able to kind of convince the underwriter that perhaps they've made a mistake, or we've been told something beforehand which actually kind of contradicts what they're saying. So a lot of the time we can resolve issues where you know, with our tools and our experience and our contacts, if you'd have been left to do that on your own, it almost certainly would have fallen through. But we've just pushed and pushed and pushed with our contacts until eventually we get the job done. Not every time. Occasionally they do get declined, of course. Yeah. You know, if you've lied on the application, or if there is, you know, genuine kind of information to suggest that they can't accept it. But there are a lot of the time kind of issues that we can resolve. Have you had a chance to
think back through my list in my head?
Yeah.
I would probably elaborate on your documents point slightly. Submission of documents, yes, we submit the documents, but again, checking over the documents, they're a big part of the process. If the documents aren't right, then things will fall apart. So checking over pay slips or sometimes bank statements or deposit proofs, ID, whatever it may be, getting the right ones to the lenders, not just bombarding them with too many or too few, and just making sure that goes through is probably a big part of it going smoothly.
That's a good point. And I guess the couple that we've not touched on, which actually started, so it's quite a nice transition actually, because they start to kind of touch onto the support side of things, which was the third category. We can liaise with third parties in the process. So you will need a solicitor with any purchase or remortgage. Obviously with a purchase, there'll always be estate agents involved. If the solicitor is using kind of, you know, jargon, or they're kind of digging their heels and things aren't moving forwards, we can often touch base with them for you, or we can try and kind of help you decipher what they're trying to say. Estate agents as well, some of them, not all, don't want to generalise, some of them can be a bit annoying, can't they? Not all, some of them are great, some of them are poor. If you get a bad estate agent, it can add a lot of kind of unwarranted stress to the house buying process. But again, if you need us to speak to them, kind of reassure them that the mortgage is moving forwards, that you're eligible for the mortgage, or just generally kind of speak to them if there's any confusion. Again, a good broker, we're happy to get involved for you. Moving over just onto the support side, so kind of other areas of support, which again is the more the emotional side and just being there, isn't it?
Yeah, in terms of support, this is the kind of the classic, holding your hand.
We're like therapists, aren't we?
Mortgage therapist, property therapist.
Okay.
All right, fine. But yeah, it is. It's there. I mean, buying a house in particular is stressful. Remortgaging can be, but buying is the second most stressful thing you do, I think, in your life, apparently.
Second or third.
Yeah, depending on the list you read and what you find. But it can be highly stressful, and that's because there's so many unknowns. There's so many things you're not sure what's happening.
So many things can go wrong.
Yeah, there's just so many of those things, and we can't take all those away. We'd love to, but we can't. But we can tell you where things are, what's happening. If you need to be worried or not, we'll tell you if you need to be, of course. But often you don't need to be. Often you just need to know what's happening, when it's happening.
Yeah,
and
you just need a bit of reassurance that actually everything is where it should be. If the mortgage hasn't been agreed yet, that's fine. It's just in a queue. Lenders are a bit slow at the moment. Answering all your questions throughout the process. Obviously mortgage related, but often we have clients just call us about just the general process. And, again, we have the experience where we can often answer your questions, even if it's not specific to the mortgage. Which again, I think that's the side of things that often we get the most kind of thank yous for, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is. That's what a lot of people want. Certainly buying. Yeah, you remember I was stuck, I was stressed, and I had a chat, or we exchanged some emails and I felt better. And then I got my keys to my new house and I'm happy. That bit kind of is remembered more than we saved you 50 quid a month or something like that, which obviously is nice. But
and it might be that, you're financially savvy, you've done this before, this is the fourth time you're moving house, it all goes smoothly. And actually, you don't need your hand holding as much as other people, which is absolutely fine. We're not going to force that on you. But, regardless of your situation, a broker at some point or another throughout the process will almost certainly have kind of a role to play in kind of giving you some support, even if it's just, even if it's minor, or just giving you a little bit of assistance on legal side, estate agent, or chasing the lender along for you. As always, guys, any questions, you can give us a call, leave them in the comments, head to the website, drop us a message. Good luck with your next mortgage. And if you need anything, just give us a shout. We'll see you soon.